Hey everyone, it's Peter Kerr from Rock Daydream Nation. Today, my guest is Darren Hill. He was the founding member of Red Rockers, one of the most charged American punk and rock bands to emerge from the 1980s. Darren, a warm welcome to the show. How's it going?
It's going great, Peter. It's really nice to meet you.
But you guys had a bit of a record company push in America, and you had some blue chip support gigs. Seriously. Let's talk
Yes.
about you too. Wow.
Okay. Yeah. The
Um,
Unforgettable Fire Tour.
how good is that?
It was amazing. And the best thing about it, I have a bootleg from the show in Chicago, and Bono brought us out on stage to sing 40 with him. And he introduces us and he says, these guys have been on the whole tour with us, and we just want to tell you that they reminded us of what it means to be in a band. And I thought that was the best thing ever anybody could have ever said. So we were really close to them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Um, were you, rumor or not, were you supporting them when they did Under a Blood Red Sky, that live album at Red
No,
Rocks?
it's right after that. It was Unforgettable
Wow.
Fire.
Yeah, because I've been doing my research, and there was I've seen some conjecture on social
Yeah.
media that you actually supported them, and I thought, oh wow, that's but you didn't,
I
not at
wish.
Red
I
Rocks.
wish.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I wish. I wish. We did get to play there years later with a few other bands, but
yeah, yeah, absolutely. How did you find the
and one of
crowds?
yours, what's that?
How'd you find the crowds, the U2 crowds? Were
Oh,
they
they were
easy to
they were
warm up?
great.
Yeah,
Typically when you're the warm-up act for those stadium shows, it's like, everybody's out at the beer stand or whatever, and they're not in the seats watching or whatever. But this was
yeah.
different. They really, really got into us. I think it was because, you know, well, you too had a lot to do with setting us up for that and promoting us. But we similar messages, I think, in our music and just our whole vibe.
Mm,
So it worked, and we were on MTV at that time, and people knew the songs, so it
yeah,
helped. But I was
absolutely.
going to segue into one of yours, Men at Work.
Right. Yes, they were big for a period of time. 83, would that have been?
Yes, yes, it was '83, and what was the second album called?
Cargo.
Yes, Cargo.
Yeah,
Which there's
yeah.
some brilliant songs on that record. Oh my God, such a good
People
record.
people forget about them. They were kind of mega huge. Like that album had Overkill.
Yes,
Um,
Overkill. That's the song I was trying to remember.
I just say it and I get a shiver up my spine. I just think Colin
Yeah, I
Hay
just
is
got one.
it's just, how can somebody write a perfect pop song like that? It's just brilliant. I don't know.
Yes,
I love it.
agreed.
I just did a show recently on one of my friends' channels, and we were just talking about Men at Work, those first two albums, and people forget how good they were. But back to you, Red Rockers, The Clash. Wow.
Yeah.
How did you get that gig? Tell us.
We got that gig because our drummer had just left the band. We fired him actually, but um, so I called up our record company, San Francisco, a fellow named Howie Klein, was the president, and he was friends with everybody, Joe Strummer and Bono and everybody else. He ran into Bono and he said he he told Bono that we were looking for a drummer. So Bono ran into Jim Riley. He had just moved from Stiff Little Fingers in Ireland to America, and he was looking to join a new band. So Bono said, "Hey, give Howie Klein a call, and blah blah blah. These guys might be a perfect fit for you."
Mm,
So lo and behold, we get the call from Jim, and it's like the next day he's on the plane to New Orleans, and suddenly I have a band. I'm playing in a band with the drummer from Stiff Little Fingers, and it was, can this get any better? Anyhow, so about 2 weeks after that, the Clash were playing in New Orleans, and Jim took us to the show, introduced him to all those guys because he knew him from Stiff Little Fingers, and they asked us to go on tour. And literally the next day, we had never traveled outside of New Orleans. Next day, we're backing up our van, and we had no idea what we were doing, but we went out there and we played all these shows with them, and it was like I could have died then, and that would have been it.
Died and gone to heaven. Seriously.
Yes.
What were they like live? Explain to the audience, the next generation, because a mate of mine, they played, I think, 3 or 4 sold-out nights in Sydney, and he saw every night, and he said, greatest live band I've ever seen, bar none. He went to every night, and this is like in 1980. Tell the folks at home, what was it like night after night touring the Clash? What were they like live?
They were just raw and ferocious. And, I had seen the Rolling Stones when I was a kid, and I likened it to that because it was real. I don't think bands today, they take advantage of a lot of the the sound systems and the backing stuff and all that.
Yes.
But this was just pure in your face, unadulterated rock and roll, just bleeding off the stage. And yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. How were the crowds to you? Again, favorable? Easy to warm up?
That was a little tougher. Nobody knew us. And they were all there to see the Clash. So we were just like, all right, we're just going to get in and out as quickly as we can. And then we'll watch the show,
But, if you can convert 1 or 2 fans along the way.
Oh, yeah.
Every
absolutely.
gig.
Yeah, we started getting gigs everywhere we had played with them. Yeah.
Bit by bit. Absolutely. Do you have a favorite backstage story with the Clash?
Just the first time we went in to meet them and walk in, and they're all in their underwear.
Right.
Bikini underwear.
Hello.
Yeah. Just like, it's like, hey, you guys were great. How you doing? A little unsettling. It's the English way, I guess.
Yeah.
You want a beer? Yeah.
Why not? Did you have much to do with them during the tour, or was it did it become more segregated as the tour went on? They did their biz, you did your biz.
Well, they were on a bus and stuff, so they kind of like, would be on their own. We were in a crappy van just trying to like make it to the next town. So by the time we got there, we didn't have a lot of time to hang out.
Yeah. So when you're warming up for them and that audience is so tough, did you have to restructure your song set to just, we're going to show you? Because I've had lots of interviews with bands that have been in that support sort of slot, and they go, we'll show you. And, they kind of rejig their song set to even be more energized. Is that something that you kind of did? Like, instead of just, is there something that you did to try to win them over?
I wish we could have done that. We were really young and just starting out. And I think we may not even had enough songs to fill the set without playing covers at that point. So I think we played one of our songs twice, as a matter of fact. So we just did them like we would be playing in a club in New Orleans. And, we didn't have the opportunity to like pump them up and say, hey, Clash, we're going to show you.
Some bands they have a short lifespan, but the mark that they make on history is just undeniable. And, I always think that if Joe Strummer was still alive, would I really have wanted them to reunite? Maybe not. What's your views on that?
I think you're right. I think you want to keep that in your memory and
preserved.
Yes, preserved. Exact. Perfect word.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to see the Beatles reform.
No.
I didn't want to see Led Zeppelin get back together. There are some bands that the legacy is preserved because they were in that moment of time, and it's just neat. And
exactly. And how can you replace John Bonham? You know what I mean? Like every one of those members, contributed something that made it so special. Can't be done.
do you
When the
think that
Who, when Keith Moon died, and you know, um,
they lost a bit of their DNA, didn't they?
they did. Kenny
They were
Jones, as
good.
much as
They
I
were good.
loved
They put
him
out some good
with the
stuff.
faces and everything, he was not
Yeah,
the right drummer for that music.
yeah. They put some good stuff out, but not
Yeah, he
as
did. Yeah,
good.
but
Not as
not
good.
the
There's
same
just
as yeah.
not the same. But do you think the Clash would have got back together if Strummer was
I
alive?
wonder. I wonder. I hate to say it, but I think probably so. I think money is you know, the ruling factor here. And I don't know. I like to think they wouldn't have, but who knows? I can't judge them.
Yeah,
I
very.
I met Mick and actually well I when I was with Paul Westerberg from the Replacements, we were playing over in England and we ran into Joe Strummer at uh, the Portobello Square. He was looking for a tie because he had to go to divorce court. So we helped him pick out a tie. And then along comes Paul Simonon pushing a baby pram. And it was like, wow, this is weird, but cool. And but then I finally met Mick again later when I was managing the New York Dolls and we did the
Mm.
reunion shows in London. And I talked to him for a long time that night. And I actually asked him if there was any chance they would ever get back together again. He said no, no interest.
Yeah, because the members were doing different directions. Because Mick was doing a lot of Big Audio Dynamite, that sort of exploring electro, dub, reggae, even more
Right.
so than the Clash. Um, you know, I don't know if they did
And
get back
arguably
together.
more successful, right? Than the
Yes,
Clash.